sour taste. Hang on a second. I don't know what that was about.
Got it now?
No. But now it's like... Actually, I don't know if I do. Do you hear anything? Oh, I figured it out. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. If you've been listening for the last 58 seconds, Spreaker Studio let me down.
Glad I wasn't talking about anybody.
I know. Could have been bad. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. This is Third Thoughts. It is Tuesday, March the 27th. It is, we're a week into spring. The pollen count is high. Mm-hmm. Extremely. My throat is scratchy. Do not feel great. I'm eating these oranges that may or may not be
rotten.
Bad. You're eating a fruit bowl over there.
There's a
what
whole...
you got going on?
I've got some cantaloupe. I have some honeydew melon. Mm-hmm. Some mango. Some pineapple. And the superfruit grapes.
Nice. I love grapes.
Yes.
I think
seedless grapes are the best.
I think the black ones are the best.
Have you ever... I used to think to myself, if a grape is seedless, how does it reproduce? But then I found the answer.
Oh, tell me. I actually don't know.
Oh, it's a cutting from the vine.
Oh.
Take a piece of the vine. When you prune it,
yeah,
you plant it, and it grows a new vine.
So you don't need the grape?
No, you don't need the grape. There's no seeds in the grape.
So
I'm sure
that's pretty unique, though. Like most fruit.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's something that's been hybridized, that they've been bred that way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, anyway, welcome. We're really laid back today. We're just kicking it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. We're glad you're here. If you're with us on Spreaker, remember you can catch us here live every Tuesday at 4 p.m. If not, you can catch us on your favorite podcast source, whether that's Apple, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, wherever you like to get podcasts from. You can find us there. Just not live. Use Spreaker if you want to hear us live and you want to hear me mess things up at the beginning where I can't hear anything and I don't know if it's broadcasting.
Yes.
You don't want to miss out on that. That's exclusive content.
Right. I mean, where else do you get that?
Exactly. You want to hear that as it happens. So make sure you jump on Spreaker, make an account, like us, follow us, and we're just having a good time. But we're going to talk about some stuff today that maybe is not such a good time. Maybe you were. This is a polarizing issue, I guess. But I don't know. I think most.
I thought we were talking about our favorite podcasts.
Oh, we can do that first before we get to the other thing.
Because I don't think that's very polarizing.
I mean, it depends on what it is, I guess. Tell me about yours. What are your favorite podcasts, Chief?
I listen to a few podcasts. I have got.
Hang on, before you start.
Yeah.
When did you start listening to podcasts? I want to know, because podcast is in like a renaissance right now. It's in like a return to popularity. I feel like podcasts have been going for a long time, and now they've had this like resurgence. Into the mainstream.
A long time.
Okay.
I listened to podcasts for a long time. Now, I don't listen to any of the same podcasts that I used to.
Like, so when were you listening to them?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
10 years ago?
Probably, maybe longer.
Okay. Because
podcasts
when
when
they were Apple thing, right?
Yeah, at least when I started listening to podcasts, there was just a tremendous amount of leadership content and those kind of things. Now a lot of people have stopped the good leadership content, and their podcast is an infomercial for their book or their conference.
Yeah. It seems like, well, okay, but here's the thing, too. I know exactly what you're saying. I think back in the day, they started as like another medium, kind of like a YouTube video, or a blog.
I think it was in response to blogs.
Yeah, it was a real
for people that didn't like to type.
It was a more or read.
Right.
You know, the consumer wants to listen and be able to do other things. Your hands are free, whatever. And then they kind of became just a vehicle for ads there for a long time, just like you're saying. Somebody would have a different show, or a book, or a album, whatever, and they use a podcast to supplement traffic to that product or artwork, whatever. But now, seems like podcasting has become its own, like, it's like YouTubing. You know, like you can make a podcast and just have it.
Yeah.
And like that's the only thing you got.
Yeah.
That's acceptable now. It didn't used to be acceptable, I don't think.
And I think that that a lot of it is old enough now to kind of be nostalgic.
Yeah.
So it's like all the new podcasters are like doing this old school thing now.
Yeah.
Because there's no camera involved.
Right. It's very lo-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's what a lot of young people are embracing it, because it's like back in the good old days.
Yeah, maybe so. And I think the other thing is accessible. I mean, you throw 2 mics up, you don't even need that. You can do everything from your iPhone.
Yeah.
With Spreaker, I mean, their app, you can just go and basically hit record or hit go live and just talk right into your phone.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why people would want to hear that, but I don't know why people want to hear us.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you were on location somewhere and you couldn't set up a like this, what we got going on.
Even the podcasts that I listen to,
the
ones that I listen to every week or month, depending on how they come out, I think to myself, who wants to listen to this while I'm listening to it?
But you're sitting there listening to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Podcast has taken it's a new thing now. It's like gone into a cocoon and hatched as a new butterfly.
Yeah, like a lot of times I'll put on, like, especially one of the podcasts I listen to is called Farmer to Farmer. Mm-hmm. It's a farming podcast. It's other farmers, and they're talking about the way they do things, where they sell their produce, the systems and processes that they use. I'll like put it on, turn the volume on my phone all the way up, and stick it in my back pocket while I'm farming. While I'm working with my animals, or I'm working, planting stuff, and it's just kind of, creates the total immersive experience for me.
Now, how does that work for you? I mean, because I hear a lot of people say, I throw a podcast on in the background while I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, how does your listening quality decrease? Like, are you retaining information still?
Some.
Because I have a hard time with that personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
if
not
I'm
like
going to listen to it, I've got to sit and listen to it. Like, it's hard for me to engage in anything else, especially if it's something else that's.
Well, yeah, but if I wasn't doing that, it would be music playing in the background.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that too. Music makes more sense because usually you're not trying to gain any information from it. It's just pleasing, right? It just appeals
but I don't know that I'm trying to gain information from that particular podcast.
So it's just.
I like to hear what people say, but I'm not doing what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm not trying
so it's not important for you to comprehend.
I'm not trying to make my livelihood from my farm, from a sense of generating income. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to put food, I'm trying to grow some food. I know where it came from for my family. So, yeah, I mean, I put that podcast on. I listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
I normally listening to the Meat Eater podcast. Now, I listen to a lot of preaching as well.
Yeah.
These are things, but I'm not counting those as podcasts.
Because they're really not.
Although they're delivered through a podcast medium.
They're really not podcasts.
Yeah,
they're really just sermons.
They're sermons, yeah. But I listened to this podcast called Meat Eater, the Meat Eater podcast.
Yeah.
Steven Ranella, he has a television show. He's a hunter. And Lexi and I, my youngest daughter, we listen to that. when we're in the car.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. I mean, it's just guys sitting in there. They're having a good time. They're telling hunting stories. They're talking about different things.
Yeah.
Some political things, but always, in that context of hunting, fishing, outdoor life. So I listened to that one. Then there is the Cog Hill Farm podcast that I listen to, and that guy's just funny, so I like to listen to him. He has some good content. He says some good things, but he kind of does more what I do. He's got animals. His family eats them. They enjoy the animals, grow in the garden, all those things. I also download Third Thoughts.
Sure. Got to pad the stats.
Right. And then there's the Sheepdog podcast.
So you're primarily in this farm theme, though.
Sheepdog is not farming at all.
What is Sheepdog about?
Sheepdog is more of a survival kind of podcast. It's Tim Kennedy, the guy that does Hunting Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that show, Hunting Hitler, but
Yeah.
Tim Kennedy's on that show. Mike Simpson, they're special operations guys. Mike Simpson was a battlefield medic. Now he's a trauma surgeon. Tim Kennedy's mixed martial arts. He fought in the UFC.
Yeah.
But he's the only person to ever win some military challenge. It's like the toughest military. It's running and fighting and all these things. He won it 3 different times. So he's a big survival guy. They talk about home protection, laws concerning those things, and they're just fun to listen to. They have some great guests on there, other military people or law enforcement. So it's always good to listen to those guys too.
Sure.
But pretty much that's kind of the podcast I listen to, except for preaching.
Okay.
If you consider those podcasts, then there's a lot more.
Yeah. I listened to a few. Actually, since I moved closer to work, I just don't have the same commute time. Like, usually my commute is when I would listen to. When you have 45 minutes in the car, you can listen to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't really actually listen to as many as I used to. I listen to some creative ones, like some music ones.
Yeah.
I'm not really name dropping because there's several, but and then some like worship leader ones.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the John Piper one. It's an actual podcast. I mean, it's like a ask.
He does it separately.
Yeah, it's like a ask Pastor John or something. But however you feel about him, whatever. But it's his perspective. Sometimes the questions are unique because people will ask him questions that they don't really ask anyone else. So the really what I'm in there for is the question, just hearing how the question is broken down.
Yeah.
And then there are a couple of YouTube guys that do one that kind of inspired this one, which is basically just they already had a vehicle, for popularity, I guess, and they started doing one kind of on the side, but now it's just as big a deal for them almost as their channel ever was. So
yeah, now I listen to some YouTubers, but to me that's something else.
Is it a podcast though?
No, it's more like I guess a vlog.
Okay, no, see, this is different. This is like literally, it does post to YouTube, but it's their podcast. They just film it.
Yeah, no. This is people out doing things.
Okay, yeah, they stream this one. No, they do. It's them in a studio.
And I have just chosen all of the podcasts that I first started listening to. I just choose to consume that information in a different way now. Because that information more or less went away.
Yeah.
When I first started with podcast, I would have like, the Andy Stanley Leadership podcast playing while I was reading a Marcus Buckingham book. So I mean, it was just like, I was trying to double up on my.
Yeah, see, there's no way I could do that.
Yeah,
because I can't read and listen. Is what I've discovered about myself. Like when I have to read for a class and stuff, if the music has lyrics, I can't listen to it. Like I'd rather be in complete silence.
Well, now, but there is a thing.
There is a thing.
There's a thing called it's called Focus at Will,
Uh-huh.
and it is it is music or sounds.
Yep.
And you play it to be able to concentrate.
Yeah.
So it's only instrumental music. They have one called Cafe, and it's just people moving around. It's just like noise.
Oh, like you're in a coffee shop.
Yeah. Well, there's one called Coffee Shop as well.
Oh, it's different than cafe.
Yeah. Different sounds. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but
I don't know how you distinguish between the two. I guess the cafe does have more food, right? So I guess there's dishwashing, plates, that kind of sound.
yeah. Yeah.
Coffee shop's just, I don't know. I guess a coffee shop's quieter than a cafe.
Yeah, and like you've got and with like in the cafe, like a restaurant, it's more like, you've got chairs sliding, you've got forks hitting on plates, and in the coffee shop it's just like hushed, muted talking, pages rustling, those kind of things. So it's just a different sound.
What about that ripping, tearing sound that milk steamer makes?
There is some coffee machine sounds in the background now that you mention it. I'm picking up on these things as you say it.
Yeah.
So you just kind of feel the environment. Yeah, you kind of you get the environment that you feel comfortable in. And if you put headphones in and stick those in your ears, it becomes a very immersive experience because it cuts all the other ambient noise out.
Yeah, and if you had some coffee beans, you could just stick your face into and close your eyes, you'd be there.
Yeah, but then you couldn't.
You couldn't read.
You couldn't read, right.
That's
true. So
I
use that plus a timer. And I set a timer, and then at the end of that timer, I stop doing what I'm doing and I take a break.
Okay. How long do you take a break for?
It just depends on what I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah, it just depends on what I'm doing because I use an app for that as well.
Wow,
it's called Be Focused.
You're far more app based than I realized.
Yeah, I think I'm more put together than you realize.
Yeah, I didn't really think you had a system for this stuff, but you use apps to organize your tasks?
Yes.
You don't just haphazardly get things done?
Not always. I mean, I sometimes I haphazardly get things done. But no, it's often systematic. What do you think I'm doing when I'm sitting in my office?
I don't know. I just don't really think about it. Just don't worry about it.
Do you think I'm in there just like looking at the ceiling?
No. I always assume you're doing something. I just didn't know you were so regimented.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. Like, and I kind of think about the task that I'm doing. Like I'm typing, and everybody will get a kick out of it. Like I'm typing an email.
Yeah.
Which
takes you a long time.
It's going to take me 30 minutes. Yep. So I may break that down into two separate.
One email.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I become less efficient the more time I spend without a break.
Well, I would say that about myself too.
So what I do is if okay, let's just say 20 minutes.
Okay.
I may break that into 2 10-minute blocks with a 3-minute break.
Okay.
So I set the app up because it allows me to set, part 1. It actually will allow you to set the whole day up.
Mm-hmm.
And then part 1, 3-minute break, and then the timer alerts when it's time for the break. So I may switch over and look at ESPN. I may get up and walk around. It alerts again. Timer starts. You got your other 10 minutes, and you finish up the task.
Huh. Yeah, my problem with those kind of apps is I never stick to them. I use them for a week or two, and then never open them back up.
I've been using this stuff for a while now.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I have trouble using apps, actually.
Now I don't like like we use a project management software here for a while.
Ew, yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, that became cumbersome.
Well, it just wasn't good.
Well, I think because it was too bulky for what we do.
Yeah.
But I think the reason we used it at the time is we were building a culture. We were trying to build a culture, and part of that culture building process was accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed a way for people to go in and put in a task, break it into steps, and then for me to be able to look and see that the tasks were being accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it served its purpose for a while because that app actually existed before you got here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Then it updated drastically.
And I was lost at the update because it didn't even function the same.
Yeah, it totally changed.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't even know where stuff is now.
Yeah.
So, and then you couldn't delete users from it, which was really weird.
Yeah. And not practical at all.
No.
I mean,
no.
Teams change, so.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's kind of, I don't know how we got here from our favorite podcast.
I really don't either, but you started. Oh, because we were talking about. What were we talking about? I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow we got, but I'm surprised. I don't know if you're listening, but if you're listening and that helps you, let us know. If you need app
suggestions. If it surprises you that I'm an organized person, let us know that.
Yeah. If you learned something from Chief's organization, I mean, I did, but I mean, if you need,
I have a great teaching.
Yeah.
That carries you all the way from conception of an idea through goal setting, calendaring to accomplishment.
You really need like a website to bump to.
I don't have one.
I don't know. Maybe one day. But let's talk about, speaking of websites, let's talk about one in the under fire.
Yeah, let's do it.
One in the news these days. We were trying to get to this last week, and we didn't end up getting there because we started talking about alternative food sources.
Yeah, just completely shanghaied the podcast.
Yeah, you saw that mountain, and you went skiing down it fast.
Yes.
Which is fine. I think it was good. People enjoyed that. But let's talk about Facebook.
But it is kind of what people expect me to do on this podcast.
Yeah.
People just wait for that moment where I decide that I'm finished with you and your input, and I just take over.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we do on Third
That kind of
Thoughts.
does happen pretty much every episode.
You have the first thought, I have the second and third thought.
Mm-hmm. That's really what it means. That's really what the title of the show means. It's an illustration. It's a foreshadowing into what's going to happen. But let's talk about Facebook, okay? Because Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, has decided to testify before Congress. Did you hear about this, Chief?
No, I did not.
All right, so British Parliament called him in and wanted to have him come in and testify, and then Congress called him in as well. And it says this: after repeated calls for him to do so, Mark Zuckerberg has decided that he will testify before Congress. Facebook sources tell CNN Money that the 33-year-old CEO has come to terms with the fact that he will have to testify before Congress within a matter of weeks. And Facebook is currently planning the strategy for his testimony. So if you don't know, Facebook is in the news because of a data breach it's a sticky situation because personal information has been sold and gone out and was used for the 2016 election. Also from this article, it says Facebook has been enduring a crisis of trust ever since it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica, a data firm with ties to President Donald Trump's 2016 election campaign, reportedly accessed information from about 50 million Facebook users without their knowledge. So Facebook's been collecting information. We should know that because when you join Facebook, when you ever create a Facebook account, you're putting in information. I mean, that's the platform, right? It's to share your information with others that you care about sharing it with. And keeping up with one another, family members, friends, whatever it is. But you share birthdays, you share photos, you share life events,
Relationship status,
you share gender, you share political views, you share religious views, you share. And when you think about it, when we created our Facebook accounts, whenever you did that, you don't even have one, Chief, but
I've never created one.
But I created one, probably it's 2018. I think I've had one probably like 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I first created Facebook in 2007.
Now, were you a MySpace user?
I was a MySpace user, yeah. So, but But man, compared to Facebook, I was on MySpace maybe 2 or 3 years, I guess, and then it kind of
So you
died.
were one of the first and last users.
Yeah, essentially. But I was on the Facebook. I joined Facebook.
That junk still exists, though.
Yeah, it's totally different though. It's kind of like that other app we were talking about. Like it had a huge update and no one could figure out what was going on. But it was dying before that because Facebook was on the rise. And I remember creating that account in 2007 when Facebook wasn't even really a thing for most people. Actually, before MySpace, I don't know if you know about this one, Chief, but you remember Zanga? Did you ever hear about Zanga?
No.
So Zanga was like the pre-MySpace. There was Friendster. Do you remember Friendster?
I know about Friendster.
So there was Friendster and there was Zanga. And Zanga was kind of the same thing as MySpace. But it was very HTML based. So you could like load these codes in.
Yeah.
And make your profile look really crazy. When I look back on that, it makes a lot of sense that you can like, that coding is like a valuable thing now. Like you can learn to code.
Yeah.
But we were like doing that stuff like in the 6th grade. Like,
oh, yeah.
Pasting this code in, changing numbers. And, yeah, it's just weird to think about. But then, so then MySpace and then Facebook. So, but when you think about creating a Facebook profile and you look at all the stuff you have to put in, well, not even that you have to put in, but just the slots they give you.
Yeah.
And you want to fill it in. You know, it's like you're looking at these blank spaces. You're like, man, I need to put something in there because it looks good when you have it full.
Yeah.
So you end up putting all this personal information in and you're sharing it. And once you put out anything on the internet, it's there.
Right.
It's out there. It's like you can't get it back. It's like dropping water into the ocean. Like it's part of it.
Yeah.
There's no way to separate it after that.
Nobody understands the cloud.
No. Because cloud is a great name because it's kind of ethereal.
Yeah.
It's just out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime you drop anything on the web, it's out there, it's circulating, it's saved somewhere, even if you quote unquote delete it. Right. And did you know you have to ask Facebook to delete? You can deactivate your Facebook at any time.
Yeah.
You can log in, go to your settings, deactivate the account. People can't search for you on Facebook. They can't find your profile.
But Facebook keeps your stuff.
They keep your whole profile. You have to send a request, a totally separate request, for them to delete your profile.
Do you have to reactivate it to send the request?
Yes.
And I bet there's a rule that if you reactivate and then send the request, you have to send an additional request. So you got to send the request before you deactivate.
Well, because the way deactivate works is if you log back in at all, it reactivates. So when you when you click deactivate, it deactivates and logs you out.
Sneaky, sneaky.
So if you log back in, you're reactivated. Then you can send a request to delete.
To have it deleted.
But I can't think. Maybe I'm wrong, and I haven't done a lot of research in this, to be fair. But I don't know of anywhere else that you have to request a deletion.
No.
That's an odd thing to me.
Yeah, well, you're talking about something, though. What you're talking about right now is you're talking about the information that you put into Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving them this information.
Yeah.
There's a blank. You click the blank.
Yep. You type it in.
Type it in.
Yeah, the breach, this Cambridge thing is different.
Yes.
So Cambridge Analytics. So it's analytical data based on how you act on Facebook, what you click on.
Not just Facebook.
But websites as well.
Right.
Because if you don't know this, listener, listen to me. Facebook knows everything you do.
Yes.
They know what websites you go to. If you have the Facebook app or the Messenger app or both, or you visit Facebook on your cell phone web browser.
Or laptop.
Or your laptop, they know what you look at. They know what you search. They know what you buy. They know who you talk to. If you have an Android phone, did you hear about this? That they're they have full call logs.
What?
Yeah. So Facebook Lite, which is an Android app, and then Facebook Messenger, which is the Android version. If you opted in to sync your contacts with Facebook Messenger,
Yeah.
they were taking text message and call data from your cell phone. I'm not talking about messages and calls made through Messenger, from your cell phone.
Wow.
So they actually have the data that your cell phone provider has.
Yeah.
Length of call, what number you called, what name you have them saved as. Lots of very strange data acquisition.
This is data that is not being offered.
Yep.
You're not. Well, I guess according to their definition of volunteering it, you are volunteering.
You're volunteering it by using the site.
Right.
Basically, is what they
Right.
say.
But this is not information that you have filled in a blank.
Mm-hmm.
Like we checked your profile. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, I'll have it open too, just in case you want
Yeah.
to refer to it, because it's pretty cool, actually.
So
In a creepy
basically,
way.
there was an article
Yep.
that basically was talking more or less about this issue with the Facebook data. Now the Obama administration there's a Facebook issue there now. So basically the article said that Facebook looks at your posts and what you do on the internet, and they assign a political affiliation.
Yeah.
It's either very liberal, moderate, conservative, or very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
5 options.
Mm-hmm.
It has you tagged as conservative,
Yeah.
although you don't really have a political view at all.
If I was going to fit in one of those 5, I want to be moderate.
But you probably
I probably am on the conservative side.
you
of
probably
moderate.
you probably do skew towards the conservative side.
Yeah.
But you did not give them a political affiliation.
No. And if you go, and like I showed you earlier, if you
Yeah.
go to your settings, you can add, in your profile, you can add a political slant. You can tell them what your views are, just like you can religion. But this is different. They pulled this somehow from the way I interact
Yes.
with ads
Right.
and other pages and profiles on Facebook. And so they assign these categories to you. Some other ones include, in case you just don't know, so like one of them is I have a birthday in November.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a category, birthday
Yeah.
in November. So they're going to show you ads and content related to
Birthdays in November.
birthdays in November.
So you're going to get an ad for 15% off your birthday meal at
Probably.
Chili's.
But I'm going to get that ad in the month of November.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Another one is community and social services. That's a category. And what that is people with roles in community and social services, including ministers, social workers, counselors, politicians, etc. So I have my job listed
Mm-hmm.
as working at the church here. And so I get put in that category because my employer information is community and social services.
But the problem comes in the fact that you didn't list those things.
What do you mean?
They're making these assumptions and they're putting you in categories based on monitoring your activity, not just on their site, but on your internet usage as well.
Yeah. Which
So-
I guess you agree. There's terms and conditions I guess you agree to. No one reads them.
No, and we should read those terms and conditions.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're deliberately long for a reason, right?
oh yeah, and ambiguous and yeah,
Jargon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So the issue comes in the fact that they are monitoring everything you do in your digital world.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is monitoring everything you do in your digital world.
Yeah.
You said, tell them about the voice.
Yeah, okay, so not too long ago, there was another article that was saying about Facebook Messenger on iPhone that if you had given it access to the microphone, which is not an uncommon preference, okay? Lots of apps use the microphone to, you have to give FaceTime access to the microphone, right?
Right.
Because otherwise, people can't hear you talking when you make a FaceTime call. So Facebook Messenger does a similar thing, video calling, audio calling, text-to-speech, that kind of stuff. If you give it access to the microphone, there were some people coming out saying that they were getting ads for things they had not Googled.
Yes.
Or typed into their phone.
Right.
But things that they had talked about out loud with other people in hearing distance of their phone.
Yes.
That their phone listened, and Facebook is then showing them ads based on their real life conversations.
Wow.
Now, I'll say this. I don't have any concrete evidence that that's true, but there have been some things that I don't think I typed in Facebook or Google or Amazon or anything, and I've talked about, and I've seen the ads pop up, and I've thought, that's really strange. I was just talking about that the other day. And it's almost like there's a formula. There's an algorithm so that it waits for a certain amount of time.
So you're not talking about it and ding.
Right. Now, in that moment, that's too obvious.
Right.
But that it waits a few days, and it brings it back to your memory. So it's interesting. And, my thing about it is, and I was telling you this earlier, Chief, is that I kind of view it as this is just the way the world is now. To me, I use social media. I use it for work a lot. I use it for the podcast. I use it for personal stuff too. A moderate amount. I wouldn't say I'm very involved. But I have the apps. I have the accounts. I use them. I just kind of accept that, hey, they want to make $1. They're going to show me ads. They're going to use my information. They're going to use my browsing history. They're going to look at that stuff because they want to market to me, so I will pay them money.
The problem that I have is that if they monitor what I click on Facebook, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when they begin to monitor other areas of life, that is like my digital real estate.
Yep.
Okay? So that is like my place where I live in the digital world. So I go to Amazon, and we talked about this, that I don't have any social media.
Right.
But I can go look at a product on Amazon.
Yep.
Okay? So I was looking for a rabbit watering system.
Okay.
So then I go to ESPN to check sports, and guess what's in the header?
The
rabbit watering system.
Naturally.
Because everybody knows ESPN sells rabbit watering systems. So everybody's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't make it right. There is a lot of data that could be gained from coming to my house and looking in my home. Okay?
See what kind of person you are.
See what kind of person I am.
Do. Yeah.
Sure. But that's trespassing.
Right.
You can't come on my property
and just look
and
around.
look around in my home. That's trespassing.
Yeah.
In our state, with castle doctrine,
yeah,
if you look in my window, you're at least going to see a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But that's trespassing. But yet, in the digital world, we don't see it as trespassing. You can come on my digital property, and you can look around and see things.
Yeah.
So, the problem I have is that there really is a trespass issue there where Facebook is encroaching on privacy, and then it gets even more complicated when they give this not to someone trying to sell me something, but when they give it to the government.
Okay, so that's your bone to pick then.
That's my bone to pick, yes. Because it's not then about a product. It is about an invasion of privacy when I already believe the government is way too involved in my life anyway. They're already trying to find ways to pry into my business. They already want me to send my kids to a public school so that they can teach them the things that they think my kids need to learn.
Yep.
Now, Facebook is, depending on where you draw your party lines,
Yeah.
they're going to give or sell them data based on my digital property. Here's something our government doesn't know. They don't know how much cash I have in a safe in my house.
Yeah.
They don't know what color underwear I choose to wear today. Mm-hmm. But they can go to Facebook, and Facebook will provide them with all kinds of private information about me. Not that I have volunteered. Now, if I walk out and say I'm wearing red underwear, I'm not, by the way. I do have a pair of red underwear, but I'm not wearing them.
That's important. Don't think
I ever wear them.
Okay.
But that's one thing. But to go pull the back of my pants out and look to see what color underwear I'm wearing, that's an invasion of privacy. I'm not volunteering that information.
Right.
And that is the issue, is that Facebook is sharing information that I didn't volunteer to give them. Mm. And they're not sharing it for the purpose. Well, for them, I'm sure they're getting something from it. Facebook's not doing anything for free.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think anybody for free.
Anybody that advertises on Facebook, Facebook's taking a cut.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the government.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's doing them favors somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So, you look at that and then you begin to say, I'm not even safe in my own digital space. Mm. There's somebody always looking, somebody always interfering. Pretty soon we're going to be taxed based on not what we make or what we buy, but there's going to be a luxury tax on the fact that we look at highlights on ESPN.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's a luxury. Sports is a luxury. I can't afford to go to the games. I can afford to watch the highlights, but soon I'll probably have to pay to watch the highlights online because the government wants their cut of everything. I guess I'm just in a place with all of this stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and listen, this whole issue with the Trump administration, depending on where you get your news from, they make it seem like Donald Trump did this.
Right.
But he had nothing to do with this. His campaign wasn't the one that had the information breached. It was the company they hired.
Yes.
So he didn't do anything wrong here. He's done things wrong. He has done things wrong, but this is not something he did wrong.
No, I think the enemy definitely here is Facebook.
Yes.
I think that's the.
There are studies. People have left Facebook. People that worked with Facebook, executives at Facebook, they leave and say that they actually have information and studies that show psychologically someone is happier when they leave social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they find ways to entangle us deeper and deeper into the web.
Mm-hmm. This article says, the scandal also highlights a problem that is built into the company's DNA, talking about Facebook. Its business is data exploitation. Facebook makes money by, among other things, harvesting user data and sharing it with app developers and advertisers. Preventing those buyers from passing that data to third parties with ulterior motives may ultimately be impossible. The thing is, Zuckerberg's going before Congress, right, to testify. He's going to try to PR his way out of this.
Yes.
That's the goal. You got to restore Facebook to its former trustworthy, quote unquote, self, right? He's got to restore that to the public. But can anything he says really happen? I mean, is it even possible for it to become a clean slate? I mean, how will they be profitable if they, you know what I'm saying? If they took away the things that are the problem, how are they even going to be able to stay open at all?
Okay, well let me put a different spin on it.
Okay.
He's going to Congress, and he's sitting in front of people who are going to be asking questions.
Yeah.
And the people asking the questions, he has a copy of their phone logs. He has a copy of every text message that's been sent. He has a copy of every private message that's been sent on Facebook through Messenger. He's got from 12 years ago, 11 years ago, when they first opened their Facebook page before they were in politics and they were in high school where they were talking about pot with their friends.
Sure.
He's got all of that information. He doesn't really have an impartial judging body sitting in front of him.
Yeah. That's true.
He has all the leverage here.
Yeah.
He has data. He has data on you, friend. If you're listening, he has data on you. Probably whether you actually have a Facebook account or not.
Well, and that's the other. There was that article last week, I think.
Yes.
Where they've created, I don't know what you call it, a file on people who don't have a Facebook account. They collect data on these people who, I don't know how they keep. I guess it's by IP address or something like that. Some kind of identifier. Mm-hmm. And they know you don't have a Facebook account, but they have a file on you based on what you search and look for and buy. And yeah, pretty creepy, dude. And you know, a friend of ours brought this up to me the other day too about how some of these big tech guys are against the AI stuff. Like Stephen Hawking was very against artificial intelligence.
Right.
Elon Musk he's not big on the AI stuff, but Zuckerberg is like all in.
Yeah.
He's like, let's do it.
It's Skynet, dude.
It makes you wonder.
Without the robots. But I mean, isn't it, don't they have the thing, at least it's in beta, where you can be anywhere in the world? Like, and it puts you there.
Yeah.
And you get to experience and talk.
Yes.
It's virtual reality.
Yep.
And they made a bad choice when they did it, and they were
in a hurricane.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. That was Facebook.
Yeah. So they exploited.
Did you watch that video?
No, I didn't watch that video.
Dude, it's weird. It's like a Black Mirror episode. It really is.
But we are okay. That was exactly what I was about to say. He's moving us towards a society with no contact, where we can put on a set of virtual reality glasses in our living room and experience a sanitary office environment with other people that we can see and talk to and look at them, but never be in contact with a person. Mm-hmm. What was WALL-E? The
Pixar movie?
Yeah.
WALL-E.
Where everybody's experiencing a virtual reality life. They can't even walk because they've been sitting in these floating chairs and they're so fat.
Yeah, in the spaceship.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's dangerous ground. And I know everybody's like, oh, no, that's sci-fi. You guys have lost your mind. Listen, we're living in the reality of it right now.
Oh, yeah, man.
There are people whose lives are completely Facebook. Mm-hmm. Their entire life is Facebook. Mm-hmm. When they talk about Facebook friends, those are the only relationships they have in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe the pizza guy that delivers their pizza 3 nights a week. But I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to have healthy society without the interaction of actual people.
Right. It makes me think though, because as strange as Zuckerberg is, and if you ever watch him in an interview or anything, this thing before Congress is going to be interesting to watch anyway. But he acts odd, you know, like there's kind of a meme going around that he's actually a robot. Like he is the AI now, like it took over his body or something. And so now like he created this thing in college and now it's sentient and it's in his, but anyway, I don't think that. I'm just saying he's an odd character anyway.
Yes.
But do you think he doesn't seem diabolical to me though? Does he to you? Because when you like the movie The Social Network, when they talk about the beginning story, the way they portray it, he was kind of just trying to start this. I mean, it was about dating. When it was really about how to date on campus.
Yeah,
how to meet people and connect with people without having to enter into an awkward situation
Right.
Right. So to avoid the bad parts of personal interaction and get to the good parts quicker.
Yes.
And then it opened up and expanded. And, when you think about it, a decade really is not that long. This whole thing's kind of exploded on him.
No, I don't think he's diabolical.
Do you think he just doesn't know what to do with all the
I think
power, maybe?
I think what happens is and I don't even know that power is necessarily a thing for him.
You think it's more perceived by the public?
I think that he's created this thing, his baby, and he's feeding it and helping it grow up and get bigger. And I don't know that the money matters to him. I don't know that any of those things matter to him. It's this thing he created, these lines of code. They're an extension of him. And he wants to keep feeding it and making it bigger. And the trail that it's carried him down is this data gathering monster.
Yeah.
This data gathering, and not only data gathering, but pretty efficient predictive model.
Mm-hmm.
It does a pretty good job of predicting what you want next.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can say it works because, like, we were looking at these ad preferences, right?
Yeah.
On my profile, and it has a tab called Your Interests, and when you click through these categories, I do like all of these things. Do
you like Men in Black?
I do like Men in Black. You want me to tell that story? Where was that at?
I don't remember.
Shoot, let me see. Oh, I remember. It was under lifestyle and culture.
Listen, you need to click all the tabs.
Yeah, go check it out. If you're listening, go check and encourage your family to do this too. Go to Facebook, log in, and then go on the arrow and go down to settings. When you click settings, I'm going to do it so I can tell you what to do. Click settings. Then on the left-hand side, go down to ads. Click on ads, and it'll come up with your ad preferences. And you need to look at all this stuff.
Every link inside that page.
Because it's interesting. It's enough for you to be like, wow, I didn't even remember I clicked on that stuff. I didn't even remember that I've interacted with those pages. And now they have this category on me. You might be surprised. Just check it out. But anyway, under your interests, I went to lifestyle and culture.
Mm-hmm.
So there are usual things. Christianity, books, Bible, faith, religion, it's the stuff I search and do for school. And so they've gathered that. But then, for some reason, Men in Black, the franchise, is under this tab as well, along with Jesus, youth culture, Abrahamic religions, society.
New Age.
New Age is one on there, which is odd because I'm not a New Age person.
But you probably search stuff that's...
But something theological that I've searched.
Actually, probably it goes back to what we were looking at the other day.
Maybe.
Yeah, because
they pulled that from somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I encourage you to look at it. If you have a Facebook account, you should look, see what they think you are.
Right, because, and I'm going to say that maybe Facebook even knows you better than you.
Perhaps.
Because you say you want to be moderate.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, you definitely slant to conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So they're more correct than you would have been if you had selected it yourself.
Probably. Of course, granted, it does say who have a somewhat conservative political affiliation, which
Right.
I think is probably accurate.
Yes.
I'm not arguing with that.
Right.
Moderate's very neutral. I'd just rather be neutral.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm neutral.
I'm just like that. That's
Yeah.
what I prefer. I don't like to pick sides,
Oh,
I
me
like to
either.
go at everybody if I need to.
Yeah, I'm always neutral. I'm right in the middle of things. I don't ever like to.
You're right. Yeah, you don't have a slant.
I don't have a slant. in any part of my life.
Not a slant bone in your body.
Not a slanted bone in my body.
I wish you had one just so we could see. I bet yours is extreme. They made a 6 category. Extreme.
It would be interesting. I tell you what, I'm going to go home and look at my wife's.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, we're going to sit down. We're going to look at that puppy.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I'm telling you, man, it's if nothing else, it kind of reveals maybe some stuff that you're kind of like, ugh, you know, like, I'm not saying like anything dark, or I'm just saying like you realize what you spend your time doing. Because when you're on Facebook, you're on any social media, you're kind of just mindlessly scrolling, clicking, liking, commenting. It kind of removes the critical thinking part of you. And you just kind of interact based on how you feel, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of reveals these, in a weird way, like a different layer, like a more raw layer.
Here's another thing, you know. I believe that the government should stay out of our privacy. Okay? I believe that that's my business. But parents,
Yeah.
your kids don't have privacy. You're their parent. You need to be involved in their life. You don't get to take a day off when you're a parent.
Right.
So, parents, if your children have Facebook accounts, I would encourage you to go and look through these links in their Facebook account. It's going to reveal a lot about what they're doing on the internet, who they're interacting with.
No, that's a good point. Because, I mean, as odd as the Men in Black part is, and I do love Men in Black. I don't know why that's in lifestyle and culture. That's like a tweak in the AI. Zuckerberg didn't really run that one right, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to talk to Zuckerberg, not on the record. I mean, I would love to have him on the podcast.
No, that'd be awesome.
So, Mark, if you're listening, you probably are.
However, I'm talking to my phone as well, so Messenger can pick this up. However you're listening, Mark.
However you're listening, whatever form this report comes in to your desk, I would love to have a conversation with you. Listen, not picking Facebook to death, not being critical, not from a religious standpoint, but I would just like to have a conversation. What did you think it would be when you created it? When you hit that 1 million, whatever you call them, users, did you think differently then? And how are you thinking about it now? Did you create this, or did it create itself? Did it snowball? And you're just facilitating this monster that demands, feed me, Seymour. You know,
do you know how many active users Facebook has now?
How many?
You said when he hit 1 million.
That was a big thing in the movie.
That was in the movie, right?
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
As of the fourth quarter of 2017, Facebook had 2.2 billion active users. That means they log in and interact at least once a month. 2.2 billion. 1/3
of the Earth's population.
Yeah, man.
Is an active Facebook user.
Yep. Yeah.
Google and find out how much of the world's population has access to the internet.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, here's the first one. 2015. I know that's not as recent. 2015 estimated 3.2 billion people, or about half of the population at the time.
Okay, so 1/3 of people on planet Earth have a Facebook account. And only how many? 1/2.
So, yeah, 3.2 billion, or almost half of the world's population.
Have easy access to the internet.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So that means there are people living in a mud hut in Africa that don't have enough to eat that have a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
What a beast.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And we've talked about it before, I think, where Facebook flies those planes now, those solar drones.
Yes.
And beam Wi-Fi down to places.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I am curious because it's like it has grown so fast and it has matured and changed and evolved so quickly. I don't know that anybody could control it.
Right.
Well, it's human run. Without people using it, it would be nothing.
Right.
And so you can't, I mean, how do you scale to that? I don't know.
And basically, if you have an infinite amount of data,
yeah,
and you have self-proprietary, or not proprietary, you have these algorithms that run. It's just code.
Yeah.
And they run and they learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to keep doing its own thing and creating data and responses.
Yeah.
On its own.
Mm-hmm.
If Zuckerberg doesn't go to the office, Facebook is going to continue to do new things because it's receiving new data.
Yeah.
And it's learning.
He's literally created a monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty scary. Weird time we live in. You know?
Yeah.
Like I've seen the meme a lot where we weren't born early enough to explore the world and too early to explore the stars. But we get to witness some pretty weird stuff in the in-between.
How about this? We were born too late to explore the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Too early to explore the stars. But just in time to explore ourselves.
Wow. And on that note, we're out. You need to check your Facebook account. You need to check your privacy settings.
You need to put up a no trespassing sign on your digital property.
Look, honestly, you just need to think about it. Just think about it. Think about Messenger. Think about Facebook. Think about Instagram. Because Facebook owns them, by the way. Don't think you're getting out of it with no Facebook account. If you got an Instagram, you got a Facebook account. Sorry. Just check it out. Just think about it. Think it over. And this is what we're here for, to provoke you to some tertiary thoughts about the choices that you make. This has been Third Thoughts, and we will be back with you with more topics and discussions and opinions, but not slanted ones, because Chief has no slant whatsoever. Next week and every week, Tuesday at 4 p.m., you can catch us on Spreaker. Make sure to like us on the socials. Shoot us a message. Hit us up. Leave a review. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next week.
It's something else.